Hello and welcome back to GP Nail Art. Jessica here. So on my right hand there was the iridescent mani for the A to Z letter I. I'll put that up in the cards. Today I'm going to be doing my first gel experiment with the Virgo Gem base coat, gel base coat. So this one is a HEMA-free base coat, but it does have some of the same ingredients as the Triple D Delicate gel base and top coat that I used previously. So if you want to see that video, I'll put that up in the cards for you as well. But I'm essentially going to be doing this mani with just that gel base coat. So I'm going to be doing like a gel method mani with the dip powder. So I'm going to show you the first two layers in real time with this color. I'm just using the one single color. I didn't want to go too crazy since I'm doing, kind of like this gel experiment. And I'll let you know how that turned out toward, a little bit later. But I'm just kind of trying to make sure that I have a very thin or a very small amount of the gel on my brush, and I'm doing a very thin layer across the whole surface of my nail. And I'm just also trying to be very careful to not get that on my skin at all, because that's typically when you can get those gel type allergies, which is something that I've suffered from with some previous manis, where I kind of start to get a bit of a rash on my skin. It's been happening mostly on my index finger and starting to happen on my ring finger as well, where it will get a little, it doesn't really look too bad. Just looking at my hand, sometimes it'll look a little bit red, but it's mostly just itchy, and then my skin just kind of dries out. So it hasn't really been anything that I would consider to be too severe as far as an allergy is concerned. But I want to try it and see if I have any products in my current stash that I maybe don't have a reaction to. So I'm just going to be using them kind of one at a time. So I'm only using the base coat. I'm not going to be using the top coat. I'm going to use the base as a top. All you need to do if you're going to do something like that is at the very end, when you're applying it as your top coat, it'll have that sticky inhibition layer. So you'll just need to wipe that off with alcohol, and it'll be shiny the way that it's supposed to be, just like a top coat. So first of all, I haven't used this color before. It's Sasha from Referral Nail. It is a little container that my sister had sent to me while I was still down in Florida, so she has the bigger container of that, but it's super pretty, and I thought it would be a super pretty bright color to kind of kick in the start of summer. I know it's not officially, summer yet, but almost. We're in June, so it starts to get warm, and that's more summer to me. So I want to start in with those nice, bright summer colors. So I thought that this would be perfect. So you can see that I am pouring over. Typically gel is not going to dry, so you want to, be very careful that when you're using the dip powder, you pour over so that the gel that's not dry yet isn't going to flood your sidewalls or cuticle or get on your skin at all. So pouring over is typically the safer way to go about that, instead of dipping in, because then that gel could move and it could turn bumpy and everything like that. So you'll just get a smoother application if you pour over. So I did do 3 layers because I just wanted to make sure that the color was nice and opaque. I'm curing in between each time about 30 seconds or so. I'm going to show just the first layer on my middle ring and pinky. I'm not showing my thumb on camera. No specific reason. I'm not doing anything different. I just leave the thumb for last because, you have to kind of hold your thumb in a different position. So I just didn't, want to again, get any of the gel on my skin or flood my sidewalls or cuticle or anything like that. So nothing different or out of the ordinary, but I did speed this up quite a bit as well so that we're not taking too much time with this, since it's going to be pretty repetitive. I'm going to go ahead and finish up applying the color, then we'll get into some what I'm going to do in regards to filing. Okay, so I'm just about finished. I'm going to let that cure. Now for the final step, typically gel method does not work very well with a clear dip powder. You may notice if you try to do a layer of clear, like when you typically do dip powder, you'll do a final layer with clear dip powder. If you try to do that with gel liquid, it's probably going to get cloudy. You may see like white specks there. So typically I don't do a clear powder for a final layer with gel method. I'll just do the dip powder color. You see that I'm applying a layer of the gel on all of my nails right now. So that's going to be the layer that I'll file on, or buff or shape or do whatever I need to do to kind of smooth everything out and get everything shaped the way I want it. So you cure that for 60 seconds, 30 or 60 seconds, depending on your lamp. Because it's base coat, I'm going to wipe off that inhibition layer first before I go into any filing at all, because you don't want that sticky layer to kind of, gunk up your filing, your emery boards or your e-file or anything like that. So make sure that you get rid of that. And then you also, because your lamp is what's going to cure or harden your dip powder layers, you don't need activator. So if you're a person that suffers from like those dip flu, cold-like symptoms, if you find that that's from the smell of the activator, this could be an alternate way to use your dip powder if you don't have gel allergies. So I am showing a bit of my filing just because it is a little bit of a different type of application. So again, I'm just filing. I usually do my shaping with the hand file or the emery board. I find that's just easier for me to get the like the straight lines on my sidewalls and free edge that way. But when it comes to kind of smoothing out the surface and around my cuticle, I'll use my e-file. So I will switch over to that, as you see here. So I'm using kind of like that cone-shaped bit. That one just works really well for me. I find that because it has like that kind of cone shape on the edge, I can really kind of get into the space between my skin and my cuticle, or like where the nail meets my skin there, and just kind of smooth that out so it looks very natural without taking too much product away where it looks like I need to have a fill in. You know what I mean? So not pressing very hard, and especially with this type of e-file, it's just a basic inexpensive file that I got on Amazon. I'll put it in the description box below. But if you press too hard, it's going to completely stop rotating. So you just kind of let the file do the work for you. So I'm just kind of going all around my cuticle line there, like I said, because I like it to look very, natural, like it's just growing out with that color, if that makes any sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish this up and we'll be almost done. All right, so I'm just cleaning up all of that filing dust with a little bit of alcohol there before I move on to applying like my final layer of the gel base, to complete the look. I was noticing though, when I kind of rub the edges, I'm the kind of person that if any of the edges of my nails, like around the free edge or the corners, if they feel too sharp, I have to buff them out. So I'll use this little buffer just to smooth out the free edge so it does not feel sharp. If it feels sharp, I start to pick at it and then I end up breaking a nail or something to that effect. So you'll see I keep like rubbing the free edge to make sure it's smooth the way that I want it to feel. So this is really just my personal preference. This is not a required step by any means. That's just my personal preference and my, weirdo tendencies kind of coming out with how my nail feels. I did decide that I wanted to add a little something extra to this mani. So before I apply a final layer of the base coat as a top coat, I'm going to apply a couple of stickers. I just wanted to kind of, make it a little bit more summery, especially with the color of the nails. So I end up just doing a little palm tree and then a little sticker that says hello summer. So I just thought that kind of completed the look. All right, so nothing too crazy for the sticker, just a cute little accent. So I'm going in, again, this is with the Virgo Gem base coat, gel base coat. So I'm going to do a final layer from cuticle to free edge across all of the nails, including the one that has a sticker. So that sticker will be nice and sealed in as well. And I didn't have any problems at all with that peeling off. Also, the base coat is kind of like your adhesive. So typically, if you find that you use a gel top coat over dip powder, if that starts peeling off on you, the top coat needs something sticky to adhere to. So a base coat will be your a base coat or a bond, something like that will be your go-to prior to doing your top coat. But since this is a base coat, nothing extra is needed. I'll just need to remove that sticky inhibition layer with some alcohol, and then it'll just be shiny and good to go. And overall, I didn't have any issues with the mani or doing the application in this way. Wasn't, I don't leave them on for a super long time. I'm not, I don't leave them on for like 2 weeks or longer. They're usually maybe about a week or so, depending on if the peel base wants to, let them go a little bit sooner than that. But you can see they're shiny. It doesn't, look too much different than if I were to do a separate top coat. They lasted as long as I needed them to last, and they came out pretty good in my opinion. So, spoiler alert though, I did end up having a reaction to this base coat. So, I will probably take that out of my rotation and maybe give it to my sister to use, or see, or I could keep it to do press-ons, because I don't typically have a reaction when I do the press-ons, but to do it on my actual hands, it still gave me a reaction. So I'll move on to, maybe in a week or two, I'll move on to trying out a different gel product and see how that goes. I'm just finishing up with my cuticle oil, getting that all over my skin, including under my nails. I'm going to rub that in nice and good. And we are just about done. So let me know what you think of this mani, what you think about the products or anything like that. Please like and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. I truly, truly appreciate it. So again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye for now.